Over 1,000 Albion cane harvesters held a protest strike yesterday. Shanice Beckles reports.
1,002 cane harvesters out of 1,332 attached to the Albion estate yesterday staged a spirited strike protest outside of the estate's administrative office. The protest stemmed from the Guyana Sugar Corporation's Inc. Gaisuko's action to combine their working gangs, namely 14A, 14B and 15A, into one gang. This action is in an effort to reduce the shop steward service from 9 to 3 workers over a workforce of approximately 700 cane cutters.
From which gang?
14A gang.
Right.
First year, over 10 years. Now they're telling me that me have to go back. They're asking me what work we been doing. Me tell them cow work. The supervisor telling me got to go back to me cow work. The thing you get first aid work for me. Them keep me to it. We tell them about that. So don't break this gang. That the Rosal people when they come, they will merge with 15A and they will walk along. So they said no. But we gang there in the middle here and you got to break it up.
We got to require Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Not required. When we talk about Monday, we work Monday and Tuesday, but not require me yesterday.
I want to tell you your position.
Well, I tell you, I get a position. Me wax, man, but I get a position.
So you get to stand by.
I get me stand by. So when the gang turn out, then we decide what to do.
Okay. So the man still define skill and wait up.
So you don't know what work you're doing right now?
No.
I is a rep for 14 again. My name is Joshua Apadu, and can't understanding from the workforce. I understand the workforce of 15A, what gang me was in, and 14B, divided into now the people who have to go to work, the harvesters now go wait at last. Now they go wait like 15A workers take first, 14B take first, then them go to the last. Now when punt have to share, them go be the last set of people to get punt. Now, let's say punt come short. Who they the last of affected with the punt problem? Now, is every day over half an hour, 3/4 hour late more you go in the field because the gang to get so big you can't share the work because one foreman can share work at a time. Because you can't get two foremen to share work, one foreman. So the issue was break the gang is the problem now. If people get work now, you take more late to go in the cane. So that was the problem. So I be asked, don't break 14A gang, bring back 14A gang, what is it? I'll have to walk along and run the estate where it's supposed to run.
In an interview with Vice President of GAWU, Mr. Harvey Tambron, he noted that the unilateral decision was made without proper discussions.
And the reason for this is that management called a few representatives from 2 of the harvesting gangs, and they held a meeting, and at that meeting they informed the representatives that they will be breaking up one of the harvesting gang, which is the 14B gang, and sending those workers into 2 other gangs, which is the 15A and the 14A gangs. Now, these representatives were not given any reason for that. All they said that we'll have to look at the cost cutting. That's the reason that they were given. They did not sit down to have a discussion as to if, when and how people will be affected in the terms of work share, how many supervisors, foremen will be looking at the task, will be supervising the cane cutting task, how the day hands will be go about having their work done, and these kind of things. Those things were not discussed with the representatives. More so that management of Gaisuku choose totally not to engage the leadership of the union, GAWU. They did not engage the leadership of the union to have discussions. And so this is as a result of that. This strike is as a result of that. Because here it is that you're engaging the representatives and not talking to the leadership. One would have asked the question that what will happen when our people turn out in full numbers and we don't have adequate punts, we don't have adequate ramp boards, we don't have adequate water carriers, we don't have adequate bullmen. That is some of the questions that would have been asked.
Mr. Tambron further said,
now, having done what management did, having done that, they decide to implement first at Rose Hall, because Albion right now they're not grinding. They're not grinding. So Rose Hall now is in full mode of grinding. They're harvesting canes. So they took over 200 plus punt hands from Albion and take them to Rose Hall to work. As of this week, some of the complaints that we receive is that you have these support hands who are the bullmen and the water carriers and so. When they went to work, they were told that there is no work for them. Why there is no work for them? Because of the margin, they have an amount of people, support hands from the other gangs, and then you have the Rose Hall one as well, are there, present for the day's work. So they do not have the amount of work to share and give these people. When asked what we will do for the day, they tell the people, the management told the people, you have to spin the task, throw up a coin, and whoever wins the task, they will have today's work and the next person will have the other day's work. This is what management is doing.
The Vice President highlighted that the decision can undoubtedly cause serious repercussions.
In every week, the harvesting gang, they call it servicing of the gang. What they do, they not require the gang. So while they say that they have an open crop, the crop has begun and then we will continue the crop until so date, and the cane cutting for 7 days a week, these sugar workers, these cane cutters don't get 7 days of week work because they service the gang. Sometimes 1, 2, 3 times per week they service the gang. These people got to stay home, you call it not required. So now that you have this number of people from Rose Hall going to Albion, the people from Albion will be serviced more. They will have to be home more days because they have to spell the work now. So eventually people will be working 3 days and 4 days per week. 3 days and 4 days per week. That is what they're going to get. It means therefore that they're going to lose their weekly incentive, that is if they make the day's pay. And then they're going to lose the incentive, their cane cutting incentive, that is when they make the 10 ton, the 15 ton and the 18 ton. They're losing that. And that is quite a lot of money. The remaining money that they will earn will never be sufficient. It will not be sufficient for them to maintain their family and to live comfortable. Bearing in mind also, and to make matter worse, that once you close the estate, and we're talking about Rose Hall and Enmore, and the selling out of Skeldon, it means therefore that the community eventually will suffer. How? Because the medical facility on each of the estates that will be affected by closure or selling out will no longer be available to sugar workers and their family.
According to the Vice President, the newest intrusion on the workers' right by the new Gaisuku is yet another rollback of their gains and is succeeding in promoting greater stress within the harassed workforce across the sugar belt. The Guyana Agricultural and General Workers Union calls on Gaisuku to engage immediately the union and the shop stewards in earnest with a view to addressing the gang merger. The protests are likely to continue. Shanice Beckles reporting for Channel 8 News.